Coming at you live, we are cooking in Kevin's kitchen. What do you have ready for us today?
We got the good one today. My wife's been asking for this one, so here we go. Good old homemade hand-rolled chicken and dumplings.
Oh
it's gonna
gosh.
be yummy, y'all. So, first stage, I'm gonna do like 2 videos and we'll put them together, but we'll do one on the dumplings and then one on the chicken. So we're gonna start with the chicken one. Because what we gotta do is we gotta boil this chicken for about 45 minutes. Then we pull it out and we debone it and get all the meat off and get it shredded up and ready to put back in our stock pot. So what we're doing now is we are making our chicken stock to do our chicken and dumplings. And this is all we need. I go ahead, because I put this in my chicken and dumplings, I go ahead and put my bouillon in now so it can all cook together. If I need more, I'll add it later. Just some good old chicken stock. I use Nora or whatever. Some good old coarse black pepper and some good old salt. Now, in here, I have my water already kind of going, and the reason being is so I can mix up my spices. I'm going to put my chicken in and cook it. What I got in here is the liver, gizzard, neck, and all that, because what I'm going to do is give that to my critters after it's done. It's all homemade chicken stock, so I don't care. I got about 3 tablespoons left in this guy, and I'm probably going to use a total of 6, so I'm going to go and put 3 in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to go and add some pepper. We can always add more later if we need to. We're not trying to get crazy. We're just cooking our chicken and then making our stock. So we just need a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, not much, because we're using this mainly for our salt at the later stage. Okay, we're gonna go and mix that up. We're gonna put it on boil. I got the liver stuck in there. That's funny. Okay, and we're gonna put this on high, and then we're just gonna drop our chicken in. And if there's not enough water, yeah, there probably is, but we're going to go and add about another cup or 2 of water here. We're going to need a whole lot more. We can always add water later, but we're also going to add milk when we make our dumplings. So there's going to be plenty of liquid. I just want to make sure we get this chicken cooked. Right there. Bring it to a boil, 45 minutes. We're going to let it cool a little bit, pull it out, set it in a bowl, let it cool all the way off. We're going to shred all the meat off it, and then we're going to get ready to put it back in the stock pot. So that's the first process.
Hold on, and then...
Coming at you live, we are cooking in Kevin's kitchen. Where are you at in the process, Kev?
Okay, we're right here. Our chicken is done. It's been 45 minutes. I don't know if I think I may have forgot to tell you to put a lid on the pot. I can't remember. But I'm sure you've boiled a chicken before, so whatever. It's been 45 minutes. Look, nice and yummy. You can tell that chicken's done. We're going to take and pull it out. We turned our fire off there.
Have to disregard the barking dog. We put him outside for the video.
So we're going to let it drain a little bit here.
Barney!
And then any juice that's in there, we're going to pour right back in. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these yummies out that I did for the dogs and stuff. I think I got one more. Okay. All right, well, there's our juice. So now what we're going to do is let this kind of cool off till we can taste it. And we're going to taste it and see if it's enough of the chicken bouillon, see if it's salty enough. We want it a little bit on the salty side. And the reason being is because we're going to add about 3 or 4 cups of milk to this, which is going to bring that salt back down to the normal flavor. So you don't really know until this cools off to where you can taste it, but you want to leave all these yummies in there. We're going to let this cool off. We're going to shred our chicken. We're going to leave it sitting in the bowl, because then what we're going to do is make our dumplings. And we're going to cut our dumplings and roll them and do all that stuff. And then we're going to put them in here and let them cook for about 12 minutes or so. And then we're going to, at the end, is when we're going to put the chicken back in. And then we're going to add our milk and let it get all creamy. And then we let that cook for about 30 minutes. And then you got chicken and dumplings. So the next stage is going to be when I have the chicken all done and ready to be making my dumplings.
Here we are, cooking in Kevin's kitchen. What you doing now, Kev?
All right, we're into the dumpling stage now. This is where it's at. Everybody knows how to boil chicken. You can make your chicken however you want or anything like that. It's all in this right here. Okay. I've modified the original recipe that I got, and the reason being is because I used to use 2 cups of flour to 7/8 stick of one of these, and I'm like, well, why waste that? It's silly to leave a little piece. So I've modified the version, and here's how I go with it. We got 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. right? We got about a teaspoon or so of salt, like that. Give it a little dash. We got 3/4 of a cup of water. We may use all of it, we may not. And then we have a cup or 1 stick of Crisco shortening. Okay, like I said, we're gonna do this to where we use the whole thing and we don't have to cut a little piece off it. Now, this is just like biscuits or anything, we're gonna cut in our dough. So, well, I'm sorry, let me do this real quick because I forgot to put that salt in there. Let me mix it up real quick. Now, what we're gonna do is what they call cutting in your dough. We've got the salt mixed in. We're just gonna drop our lard right in. We're done with that, we won't be needing it anymore. Get you a good old dough cutter. Talked about this in my other videos. You must have a dough cutter if you're going to do biscuits, dumplings, anything like that. Start at one end and we're just going to cut it into cubes like this, like little pads of butter. Okay. And then just start a cutting. And this is the whole trick to everything. On biscuits, dumplings, anything like that. You're going to need a rolling pin and some flour because we're actually going to roll these out and hand cut them and all that.
Awesome.
So this takes a little bit to do. Knock your lard off. Because we're going to want these in fine little pieces. So it takes a while to get done. I'm just going to show you a rough one and then we'll take a break because there's no sense in you sitting here watching me do this the whole time because it does take a while. As you can see, that's a rough cut in. Get all that flour mixed in there. We can keep going. I don't think I have any stories. Learned this from my ex-mother-in-law. She was like a mother. I love her to death. She's like a mother to me. And she taught me how to do this years ago. And she was real tickled. She's like, Kevin, I really enjoy teaching you how to cook. She says, funny, I got all these kids and they love eating my cooking, but none of them really want to learn how to cook. They don't want to know how to do it. So all the kids were watching me do it, going there learning. Every time I went there, I'd learn whatever recipe I wanted to learn. And guess what? Every one of her kids can do every bit of it now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really awesome.
That's great.
It really is.
Carry on some good cooking skills
Yeah, man.
and some great recipes.
You know, because once they're gone, you lose it, they're gone.
Yeah.
I got some recipe secrets from my great-granny. She died 101 years old. My grandmother died at 89. She gave me tons of recipes. Like I said, most of my cooking doesn't come from schools or anything. It comes from little old ladies. And that's the best way you can learn. And I've been that way all my life. If I saw something I wanted to learn how to cook, I just walked up and asked the person, I need you to teach me how to make that. And 99% of the people out there are real excited that you even ask them, that they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you the exact way they do it. Because they know once it's over, it's over. They're gone. All those secrets are gone. Look at that. Look at all those nice little...
Ooh, it is coming along nice.
We still got a little more to go. It's about halfway or so. You got to get it all cut in. You don't want no big chunks of lard.
That's right.
Get you a nice bowl that has a nice rounded edge. Not real steep, but nice and round, because that way you can get your...
And kind of get the cutter in there.
Yeah, you can get the cutter in there like that and get on that edge. Okay, see, we're going to break all those up. Looks pretty good. Okay. See that? They're all little pieces. That lard's all mixed in there. I'm gonna hit this top real quick.
Looks like you did a great job. It seems pretty even too.
Yeah, so that's the deal. Is just keep cutting until you get these little fine little granules, these little balls, dough nuggets. Okay. And like if I push down right here, you can see how it starts to doing that. So that's why you don't see me really doing that. I already did that. I'm just getting to this top layer right now. See all that? Getting it all busted up. Okay. Then we make us a little concave right here. Get all that yumminess off of there. Make us a little concave. And then we're just gonna pour most of our water. I know it's gonna take most of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do all 3/4 of a cup. That's about what it takes. So 3/4 of a cup. And we're gonna start stirring it in and making a dough.
You kind of turn the bowl and kind of fold it in to get it started.
Yep. And if it doesn't make a nice round ball, like what you see starting to happen right here, it's either too wet, just add a little more flour. And if it's too dry, add you just a touch of water. And that's why I'm saying sometimes you won't use all the water, but usually you do. Usually it's exactly 3/4 of a cup. Now I left that last little bit. I'll go ahead and put that in there. Now look at that nice little ball. See, that's about perfect. Look at that.
Nice.
Yep. So then what we're going to do now is we're got to flour our table, and we got to flour our thing, and we're going to start cutting dumplings.
All right.
Okay. So we got to put our flour down, and I'm not going to do the whole thing at once. It's just too much. I do it in pieces because there's just no sense in all that. So you got to do your roller too now, because it will stick, and you got to keep doing it. Just keep doing it, keep doing it. And you don't care if flour's on these. Flour can be on it. Make a nice little ball. Look at that.
Nice.
Okay. Right there. Put a little flour on top, and you start rolling.
I forgot how much I love rolling dough and stuff too.
Okay, we're gonna flip it. Like I said, you don't care if that flour's on it because you want it to. That's going to help keep it all sticking together when you go to putting it in the water. In the chicken broth. So here we go. It'll probably be the last time we flip it. And the flour on top. We don't want it sticking. That's the main thing, is you do not want it sticking. You go to sticking, it's going to ruin your dumplings. Not ruin them, it's just going to make them odd shaped and all that. Now, you want these pretty thin. Some people like them real thick. You know, this isn't canned biscuit stuff or drop-in biscuit like you mix your Bisquick and drop in the biscuits like we used to. No, no, no. This is hand-rolled real dumplings. So you want them pretty thin. See that right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's just about perfect. Look at that. I don't even know how to tell you, 1/8 of an inch or something like that. I'm just going to go and give it one more like that. Make sure this end is done like that. Now we're going to cut it. You can cut them any size shape you want to, but this is what I do. I like them about 2 fingers wide. All right, so I'm just going to go like that. It's your preference, do how you like. But personally, I like about 2 fingers wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut them on, get them ready. We're going to get our stuff to boil and we're going to drop them. Okay, so this one right here looks pretty good. The bigger they are, the less they're going to fall apart. Okay, because they will start to fall apart on you, which you want them to fall apart a little bit. So we're going to take these. I guess we're going to cut them about right here, right in half on that one. Okay. I'm just going to start stacking. That's why you want that flour on there. That way they don't stick. That's a big one there. So, right. We'll cut that one in half. Cut these 2 in half. Like I said, you want them different sizes. It doesn't matter. They're dumplings. And they will come out just like this, y'all. And they're so yummy and soft. And it's all in the cutting in of the lard.
Excellent.
A whole cup of lard. Okay, so there's our first one. Gonna reflour. I guess I'll do that whole thing since we're doing the video. Might as well go and get her done. So we're gonna pat it. Make us a ball. Ooh. Make us a nice ball. Make sure your hands are covered. Gotta pat it down. Flour on there. Yeah, same thing. Gotta make sure everything's covered at all times. If you don't, it's gonna stick. Flipper. You can double the batch, you can do whatever you want, but this makes quite a few dumplings. So, the thinner you make them, the more you get. It just depends on how thin you like them. I like them a touch on the thick side than some people. That way they don't fall apart, see?
Right.
Because they will fall apart because you're going to put them back in the boiling bath. For about 12 minutes, we're going to boil them about 12 minutes. And then we're going to add our chicken. And we're going to add our milk. Then we're going to add our bowl. And our spoon. Here we go.
Heck yeah.
Okay, about 2 wide, right? Good old hand rolled chicken and dumpling. If you do it any other way, man, I'm telling you, you are missing out. Missing out. Okay, we're gonna cut these right now because they look pretty good. I'll take this end one. I'll go ahead and do that. So like I said, if it's not enough for what you're cooking, you can go ahead and do another batch real quick. They will sit just like this because they're like biscuits at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to rise a little bit. And I guess then they're going to fall. Okay, so I'm going to get my, look at that. Hand-rolled dumplings for chicken and dumplings.
Oh.
You can make them as small as you want, thin as you want. Thin this way, it's however you like it. This right here to me is a perfect dumpling. Look at that. Look at that. That's going to come out real yummy. It's not going to break apart. If they go to breaking apart in the when you put them back in the chicken broth, it's because you don't have enough lard in it, man, and it's just falling apart. So there's your dumplings. What we're going to do now is go get our chicken broth that I already got ready, which I'm going to go over what I did to that, and then we're going to actually make our dumplings. So here we go.
Coming at you live, we are cooking in Kevin's kitchen. Where are we at in the process?
We're fixing to drop our dumplings. Okay, I want to show you something here real quick. We got it just not a super rolling boil, but about a medium boil. But I just wanted to show you all this white stuff right here. If you want to go in and take some of that out, you know, that's that grease from the chicken and stuff. Just go ahead and just take it out with you a spoon like this. You know, leave it if you want to or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and take it out just to show y'all. See, it didn't have a whole lot. But it's like that foam. You just want to take it off the top. Okay? Now, look in there and see that boil. It's not real strong. And the reason why it's not real strong is because you don't want to break apart your dumplings. So we're going to drop our dumplings one at a time. Once they're all in there, we're going to hit our timer for 12 minutes. So here they go. Drop them in. And if it gets to where it won't boil, turn it up just a little bit. You don't want to put too many at once because you need to keep that little bit of a boil going. The reason being is because it keeps them from sticking together. There we go. Look at that dumpling. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. Just going to drop them one at a time. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about my soup here. Okay, I did my chicken. I had about 10 cups of water or so. I put in 6 bouillons, 6 tablespoons of bouillon, and then I put about 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, when I got done, it wasn't quite enough. You want it, like if you were to eat soup and go, that's just a touch salty. That's what you want. You don't want it, oh, that's real salty. That's too much. And you don't want it like, that needs salt. No, it needs to be just touched on the salty side, so when you add your milk, it brings it all just perfect. Okay, so what I did, basically, 10 cups of water, and then I ended up using 10 tablespoons of bouillon powder, or you can use cubes, whatever you like, and then I ended up using about 3 teaspoons of salt, and I tasted it, and it's just absolutely perfect. I know exactly how I like it, and that's how I want it. So you can do the same thing. You may not want it as salty, or this, that, and the other. You know, that's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. But that's just what I do. Okay, I lost my boil here, so I want to make sure I get it back up. Go ahead and look, and you can show them to where they're not falling apart or nothing.
Oh my gosh.
So,
look at that.
We're going to get all these in here. I lost my boil for some reason. I figured I may. It's kind of cold. Cut that one down. You just barely want to stir them. You don't want to get in here and really stir them just because you don't want to break them apart. You want them to stay as whole as possible until the very end. You want the small ones to kind of bust apart a little bit because it gives it that kind of gravy effect.
Right.
So that's why I don't care if they're misshapen. If that breaks off, that's kind of what you're looking for.
So you're just kind of dropping them. You don't crisscross or nothing like that.
No,
No
you
strategy.
just drop them. No, because The boiling is what keeps them from sticking to each other. See how they're not sticking to each other?
Okay.
Okay, and that's the reason being is because we got that little small boil going.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of blanches them real quick. I'm going to have to turn it up just a little more. Like I said, when we get them all in, we're going to cook them for about 12 minutes. Homemade chicken and dumplings. You can't rush it. Can't do none of that. Why? It's homemade. And like I said, you don't want to bust them up, because you will bust them up. If you cook them too much of a boil and everything, they'll start busting up, and that's not what you're looking for. I'm looking for that whole dumpling in my bowl.
I always thought dumplings were like little, they look like little raviolis, but they're strips of dough. Is that kind of what they are?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could buy them in the grocery store, you know, frozen, in the frozen, and they're just like this. They're little strips, you know what I mean? That's really the way you want southern chicken and dumplings, is strips, not dough balls, not biscuits. I know that's the way most mothers do it because, you know, they don't want to roll the dough out or whatever, and they make it a little easier on themselves, which is fine. You could do it that way, too. This video here is about
making dumplings.
Yeah, making dumplings more than it is anything else. Okay, we almost got them all in. Like I said, we don't want it boiling too much because then we're going to start busting them apart. We're almost there. Just made a nice big old batch of dumplings.
Ooh.
You guys got to kind of move them around where you can fit the next one in.
So are they
Okay.
fine once they're cooked? They don't really stick together?
No, they won't stick together after this because we're like blanching them, and then they won't stick.
Because I wonder about what happens when the water gets a little...
No, see, they're not sticking.
Okay.
They don't stick. That's that flour. I mean, that lard.
Okay.
Okay, we got it on a real small simmer. I'm on them on about 4. You don't want it rough boil. We're going to put our lid on, and we're going to cook for about 12 minutes now. Stir every now and then just to make sure nothing weird's going on, make sure they're not breaking. Okay, I did my chicken. I'll go ahead and show you what it should look like. You got some big pieces. You got some small pieces. You got some itty bitty pieces. That's what you want. You want it kind of all mixed up. Look at there. That's a perfect mix. Some are big, some are small. Okay, after this cooks for 12 minutes, we're going to put our chicken in. We're going to top it off with the milk, and then we're going to let it just simmer at a very low boil for about 30 minutes. And then we're done. We're ready to eat. So next step is 12 minutes.
Reporting back to you at Cooking in Kevin's Kitchen. What are we doing
All right,
now?
y'all. I decided to go about 3 minutes longer. They weren't quite as tough as I wanted it, you know, when I go to add the rest of my stuff. But looky here. Look how yummy they are. And look,
Oh my gosh.
they're staying dumplings. See that? But look how it made that nice gravy. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That's that where a little bit breaks apart, but you still have your whole dumpling there. See? That is going to be yummy.
Yum.
Okay, so I kind of said it wrong a while ago. I want to get more liquid in here because I don't want to bust up my dumplings. So I'm going to go on and add my about 4 cups of milk. About like that. And like I said, you just want to fold from now on. You don't really want to go to busting up your dumplings. Oh, look at that dumpling. That was perfect. They're so yummy. Look at that.
Yummy. Oh, wow.
Tender, but yet still held together.
Yummy.
Okay, so now we're going to add our chicken. I can get the camera person from trying to lick the pot while I'm trying to...
I know, I'm really trying.
Like I said, we're just going to fold this in. We don't want to go to breaking our dumplings we worked so hard on, right? So everything from this point is just real low temperature and real soft stir. Got all the chicken in there. We're going to bring this back to a boil and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes on real low, real low.
Looks so good.
Yep. You know, when this milk cooks all in, it's really gonna be yummy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yummy.
On my dumplings, son.
So do you need to check it, make sure it's salty enough and all that?
Oh, I'm sure
Look
it's
at me,
just
I'm
perfect.
volunteering to taste it.
I'm sure it's perfect.
Ooh, it looks wonderful.
Let's just get some of that juice and see. I'm almost sure it is. Y'all don't want none of this.
You don't want none of that?
Y'all don't want none. I'm gonna have to throw all this in my bowl. Oh, it's so creamy, y'all. It's almost like a potato soup. It's not too hot. Try some.
Okay. Oh.
Homemade chicken and dumplings. We're gonna let this cook for about 20 minutes or more, and then 20 minutes more, and then we're gonna be ready to eat. Like I said, you don't want to really boil it at this point. You just want to heat it up and let it just barely simmer. Finish cooking those dumplings, and it is tasty.
Fantastic. All right, that's it, huh?